Welcome back to First Look Asia. Tomorrow is World Autism Day, and it's still very much a medical mystery. What exactly causes autism spectrum disorder? It's a complex developmental disability, and it lasts a lifetime.
It has no cure and is associated with many sensory challenges, but if placed in the right environment, some with the disorder are able to put their skills to good use.
I met the family of one young man who's doing their part to give him and others like him that chance. Ryan Coe is in his element. Tools in hand, eyes on his art. The 20-year-old sees the world quite differently from the rest of us. He has autism. His mother, Sok-Ying, knew early on that he was special.
My son looks normal, he's a happy baby, achieving all his development milestones, even faster than his older brother. At that time, he could actually speak, call daddy, mommy, he could call Koko. It was at age 2 that we noticed the regression in the sense that he started getting very quiet, lack of eye contact. He's a very happy baby, he's always smiling. We look at his old pictures, he's always with a happy smile on his face, and then slowly, he's just, you just notice that his looks are blank. Lots of tantrums, like whenever he can't get what he wants, he can cry for hours.
The literature offered a grim diagnosis. If Ryan didn't speak by the age of 7, he would be lost to the world of autism.
It's like a death sentence to say that by 7 he can't talk, it's a lost cause. So it's like, can you imagine, like every birthday it comes nearer to 7? And then, yeah, to me I felt it was like a death sentence.
The boy is behind.
Yes, good job.
Ryan was soon taken out of the mainstream education system and placed in a school for children with autism throughout adolescence. Now as an adult, he falls into what his mother calls the sandwich class. He isn't severely limited by his condition, but he also can't function completely independently.
Ryan belongs to the centerpiece where they call it the moderate. He definitely needs more support in terms of, because he has speech delay, he has certain sensory challenges. But if you strip that away, you can see that some of the pieces of work that he has done, he's able to do, there's special gifts in each one of them. For him, it's craft work.
Sok-Ying soon set up a website, and Ryan saw success selling his pieces online. Many of his classmates' families, though, were desperately looking for opportunities for their children to be productive members of society.
Clever boy.
Enter Irene He. She has taught floral arrangement for more than 35 years, but never before has she trained those with special needs. It wasn't long before she recognized that their talents could blossom if given the right opportunity. Irene is now training dozens of special needs students how to prepare ribbon, cut wiring, and assemble floral arrangements, skills they can put to use if given a chance in the floristry industry. Doctors say keeping those with autism active and engaged is key.
Most important to get them occupational therapy to help them with their ability to go into vocational work, for example. I think it's still important to engage them in even things like social skills training. Sometimes, just doing some therapy on things like social skills, eye contact, and on how to talk properly to people. I think their life and their ability to function does improve tremendously.
Tremendous too, the potential for the floristry industry to offer opportunities for those with autism.
Floristry making money from the society, correct? I think that is the time to revert a little bit to the society. And then you see, children, everyone is a parent, okay? Children is in the world. If we never give the children a hope, a chance to survive in the society, who will give them the chance?
If you are able to break down the task into bite size, and then identify those that actually they are very good at, they can be an expert in that particular process. And and that actually gives them a sense of dignity. Underneath this label of autism, there are very special gifts that we actually can help to actually bring them out, which I believe they can be very effective contributors to society. Cheers. Cheers.
lovely family, and Ryan sells his craft items online. But there are some companies that actually actively seek out those with autism spectrum disorder because of their unique abilities.
Now, one of those companies is SAP Asia Pacific Japan, and joining us now is Daniel Nimmo, Chief Customer Officer. Thank you for coming in, Daniel. Now, SAP, we know it as a tech firm focusing on software, but your company is now associated with a program called Autism at Work. Can you tell us about this program? And it, I believe, kicked off in India.
Yes, indeed. Essentially, SAP's always been a company that's valued talent. You know, we're a people organization. That's what we do for our customers and for ourselves. The program essentially is a global framework that allows us to take advantage of this vast pool of people with autism that exists within the planet. 1% of the population have autism. It's a staggering number. If you take on that 85% of the adults with autism are unemployed, this is a huge talent pool. So taking account of that and looking at that, we came up with a program and a framework that allowed us to tap into that resource and therefore find a way to bring them into our organization. Essentially how it worked is we worked with a partner, a global partner from Denmark, who helped us build this framework. The framework looks at the selection process. It then takes them through an internal training program, but it also looks at the colleague side as well. So we address both aspects of it, and then we bring it together. And it might be interesting for your viewers to understand, an interview in this process can take 6 weeks.
Wow.
Right? A little bit different from the norm. And that's really because of the nature of some of the issues we have. But typically it's things like we have Lego areas, and we have programs where we have our candidates build robots with very detailed instructions, which obviously plays to their strengths.
So speaking of strengths, what is it exactly that you see in people with autism spectrum disorder that excites you, that wants you to have them as part of your company?
Yeah, initially our thought was that many people with autism have a great propensity for detailed work. They also have great ability to look across things and spot trends. So there are really key components there of many of the aspects that we do from a technical perspective. And so our early thinking was that was the place to go. However, what we found out, as usual with these things, is we didn't know the half of it. And so what we found out now is that there's almost no job within our organization. We're up to, I think, about 18 or 20 roles and going, where our new candidates can be assimilated very well.
Now, how many countries are now part of this program with SAP?
Currently we have 8, and we have another 2 in Asia this year that are rolling out this program. In total, we're talking about 100 employees at this stage, so very much a learning phase for us. But we have a target of 1% of our employees by 2020, and that's a significant number.
It is.
And that reflects, obviously, the proportion that they represent in the population.
How well do they integrate into the workplace?
Really well, actually, and it's all about the process. If you do the right things to the right people, you get the right outcomes. And so we've typically taken our frameworks to a localized level, and then we work with a local partner there. So we mentioned India earlier. Enable India is a great partner of ours who understands the educational requirements, the social environment, etc. And they help us localize the program so that our candidates in India are brought on in the right way. So it's very much about how much work and effort you put into the planning.
No, it's great that it's a win-win situation. Everyone benefits,
Absolutely.
Not just the people with disabilities, but also your employees as well, because
Absolutely.
you get to interact and understand the sensitivities involved. Thank you very much for coming in. Daniel Nimmo, Chief Customer Officer at SAP Asia Pacific Japan.
And if you're interested in looking at Ryan's pieces, head to mustardtree.com.sg.